Okay. Hello. Let's see. I can't tell if this is gone. I think it is. I think it started. Welcome to the chat. Hi. I'm sorry. Okay. I am Nectaria. There we go. I am the owner of Sophistication, and I've got some new bath bomb molds to test, potential new bath bomb molds to test. And I'm just making my mix right now. I hope that the audio is okay because I'm using new software and I'm just not sure I'm doing things right. Every time I go live, I have to reset it all up, and I feel like I need a better system. Anyway, if this is your first time joining one of my lives, welcome. I'm at my shop and the shop is open. So if somebody comes in, I'm gonna have to pause you. This is my shea butter. I just dropped something. So I am not sure if I've set up the cameras properly, but one of my printers just finished. Part of my challenge is that I can't get the cameras right. And so I decided this time I'm just gonna not even try and have the front facing camera to be able to get everything, and I'll just have the overhead camera as like a little mask showing you what I'm doing. And I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Okay, I should say I did not sleep well last night. So I am definitely in it. Was that Cat B or Polly 80? Oh, it was Polly 80, thank God. I'm exhausted and I'm gonna make errors. I just have a feeling it's coming. I think it's coming. But I've had these. I designed some of these. I don't even know how long ago. I mean, definitely last week. Fragrance oil, and I'm just I gotta get them tested. So yes, I'm exhausted. Yes, I may screw it all up, but sometimes that makes for amusing content then. Anyway, I started watching. Okay, I know I'm years late to the program, but I started watching another print complete, Stranger Things. And I'm working all the time, so the only time I really take to watch TV is at night before I'm going to bed. And so, starting to watch an episode of Stranger Things at almost midnight, probably not the smartest thing to do, because then you want to watch the next ones. So instead, I was like, okay, let me go watch Couples Therapy, which is another show that I really like. And I don't know how I missed the latest season. I don't know if they just released it or what. Anyway, but that's addictive too. So then I was like, okay, I got to stop doing this. So at about, I don't know what time, but middle of the night, I'm like, let me turn these things off. I'll open TikTok. And TikTok is not the thing to turn on when you need to go to sleep. Just so you know, just a little tip. So I think at about 2 a.m. I think around then I finally was like, Nectaria, put everything down. Anyway, okay, those were all my dry ingredients except for my citric acid plus my wet ingredients. Thank God I pre-batch my stuff, and so at least I know my dry ingredients were weighed out properly. And I'm just trying to get my mix to get a little bit what's the word? Like I'll call it hydrated. And then I'm going to add my colorant in, my lake colorant. And then I'll keep making. Keep mixing till I can make again. Okay. There we go. So I've got most of the bath bombs I'm testing today are kind of in one theme. But the other one I'm testing today is, which will be the first one I test, is not in that theme. But I'll chat about it when I get there. Oh my goodness. I mean, technically, I guess I could have stayed home and just like slept today. But I didn't. And I enjoy working, so it's kind of like, do I really want to stay home? No. But then I'm also like, the last time I made when I was exhausted like this, I know that I messed things up. So the molds I'll be testing today, if you're new to my channel, then you wouldn't know this, but I design my molds that I offer for sale at soapfistication.com. And but when I first started making bath bombs, well, when I first started, hold on, I'm adding Red 27 Lake from Scandalous Soap Company. So when I first started making bath bombs, I made a couple before then, but during COVID, I took the Bubble Boot Camp offered by Bath Fizz and Foam, which is the owner of Scandalous Soap Company is a co-owner of Bath Fizz and Foam. And they had what they called Bubble Boot Camp. And it was amazing. I highly recommend it. So it was like 3 days. I think each day had 2 kind of like workshops or whatever on bath bomb making and bubble bar making. And so I started making bath bombs then. Like I was introduced to 3D printed molds during that time. And I had made bath bombs before, but I didn't make them very often because they were hard for me to make, in all honesty. And I learned a ton in that boot camp. And I discovered 3D printed molds, which were a game changer for me in making bath bombs. And I went to town. I was like, I am making all the bath bombs. And they sold much better for me. Like soap sells for me, but bath bombs were really like, because they're fun shapes and things like that. I generally didn't do like rounds. I was doing fun shapes and stuff. So eventually I was like, maybe I can print my own molds. And so I got a printer and I started buying files. And let me tell you, not all bath bomb molds are made the same. And most of the files I bought were crap. I'd be trying to make bath bombs and they would be sticking in the mold or crumbly or whatever. They just did not work. And so that's when I was like, okay, I know what makes a good mold because I've used good molds. And my theory is that there are people out there who know how to 3D design, but they don't know, like there's a different, oops, you know what? I got to add the citric acid to this. Good thing I already sieved it. So let me just put this. Anyway, so I think some people are out there designing things, calling them bath bomb molds, but they don't know what makes a good bath bomb mold. And so they're not good bath bomb molds. So I basically paid somebody to teach me how to design because I did not know CAD programs. And I was like, I know what makes a good mold, but I don't know how to translate that. So I'm so grateful to her. I paid her, but still, like, she didn't have to do that for me. And so then I started making molds, and then people liked them and started asking to buy them. So then I became a mold maker. But part of my thing is that I can design all sorts of things that look great when I print them, but they're not going to be good molds. This is too bright, this light. Let's do that. So I am committed to testing my designs with bath bomb mix before I offer them for sale. Bath bombs are finicky things, so just because something works for me doesn't mean like it'll right away work for you. You know, we all have different mixes, we all have different humidity levels, like all the different things. But I feel more comfortable knowing that the products I'm selling have been used to make bath bombs. So that is kind of my history of what I do and why. And I like to do the bath bomb making live just so that you can also see that they've made bath bombs before. And there are times that some people might have trouble with a mold. And so I just think having videos of like how I did it can be helpful to some people. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. That's my story. Yeah, that's my story. Okay, usually I let this mix a lot longer. But I'm going to just, you know what I'll do? I'll mix it again. I'm going to mix it around a little bit with my hand to make sure all the bottom stuff is coming. Oh, love Red 27. So the formula that I'm using today, I don't know if I already said this. I am not a formulator. I bought most of my formulas that I use. And this is a formula from Bath Fizz and Foam. I have it linked in the description. It is a purchase, like you have to buy this formula. But they actually on their website have a free formula as well. If you go on the top of the website, you'll see it says free recipes or something like that. But if you're going to buy a formula, I highly recommend their formulas. They have 2 bath bomb formulas you can purchase. I've purchased both of them. One is the high humidity formula, which was kind of their original one that they started selling. But I didn't have high humidity, but that's what I used because it's a great formula. But I have low humidity, although today I have average. My humidity level's at 41% because it's warm here where I am. But usually, like especially in the winter, my humidity level is down at like 10% in my making area. Doesn't matter about outside. So when they released a low humidity formula, I purchased that. So that's usually what I use. And because I hate to change labels, unless the humidity level gets really high, I just keep using the low humidity formula. It's just like easier from a label perspective in my shop and whatever. Okay. So any molds that I test today is what, June 4th, 2025. So any molds I test today that pass, I will get listed by next week, like within a week. I always have to wait because I like to take pictures of the finished bath bombs. I like to weigh them so you get an approximate idea of how much they weigh and take measurements. So I do try for all of my molds to include that kind of information on the listing. Okay, so this is my mix all mixed up. And what I like to do, especially when I'm doing a live or whatever, because I'm on for a while, so it might take me a little bit, like bath bomb mix, once you start going, like I've added that citric acid, I now have a set time limit till this will be kind of done, like not able to be molded anymore. And once I add my binder, which I use water, I'll have even less time because this will speed up the process. So I like to have like a little bit of mix that I set aside. I call that my non-binderized mix. So that's going to die out at some point, but not as quickly as this will because I am adding my binder into it. And so as this mix starts to kind of die out, or just as I get down near the bottom of it, I'll add from that other bowl. And I feel like it kind of like not restarts the clock, but it kind of gives me a little extra time. That's just my own little theory. I don't know if that's actually true, but that's kind of my little theory. I forgot to get my embeds out, so I will do that next. And I'm just trying to like get all the binder kind of mixed in with my mix, get all my little molecules and whatever, having a little brown chicken, brown cow, you know what I'm saying? So that they just stay together. Okay, so, and once it starts to feel good, this is because I do have a higher humidity level in my shop today, so I may not need as much binder as I usually do. So I'm just kind of feeling the mix as I kind of squeeze it together. This is feeling pretty good. I might need a little bit more binder, but it's actually holding up pretty well. Like that did not break at all. I can pat the baby and it's not breaking. Like, ouch, I just hurt my hand. So I think that's good. Let's leave it at that for now. Let's get some embeds out here to have a little more fun in the bath. I know I'll use yellow because I love the combination of pink and yellow. How about I do yellow and orange? That'll be a fun little one. And I need to like use up that orange so I can get more. Let's do that. Let's just do yellow and orange today. And so you'll see here that my embeds in general, I like to have as solid pieces. But I do sometimes have what I call embed dust, and I will use that even though I don't love it. But I don't waste not, want not. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so these are my first. I have 2 potential molds. They're Juneteenth flags. And I'll share that I was torn about whether or not to do this. Mainly because as a white woman, I was like, should I really be doing this? But I decided, and if I shouldn't be, then hopefully somebody, not just one person, but multiple people tell me this is not cool. But essentially I have Pair glasses, like the company Pair, Pair, where you can get like toppers for your glasses. I feel like I need one more color, but that's okay. I'll just do these 2. And I don't have any toppers on right now, but you can get all sorts of designs and, you know, they do whatever. Anyway, I live just outside of Toronto, Canada. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts, and Pair is a US company, and they recently came out with their July 4th designs. So very Americana, you know, stars and stripes, you know, blah, blah, blah. Red, white, and blue. And there was a comment in their Facebook group from someone who was basically like, you know, with the gazillion 4th of July things you just released, you could have at least released one Canada, you know, themed one. And then some people were like, oh, good luck with that. And I saw a comment within there that somebody was like, yeah, we've been trying to get Juneteenth ones for years, and they basically won't do it. And I thought, you know, I don't know that I've seen a Juneteenth flag thing here in the bath bomb world. And I thought, I just thought, okay, it's being requested, and who am I to, like, why wouldn't I have that available for people? Anyway, so hopefully you can see this. I have no clue how this camera works, but I do really enjoy how that came out. I would say that's a pass. Like, it will get listed. However, this is the question, is most of my flags that I've done are waving flags. And the Juneteenth, I looked up kind of why is the flag, what do the symbols mean, and things like that. And so it is like there needs to be the arch, there needs to be the stars, like, right? So there's certain elements that need to be there. So I can't remember what colors I did. It was yellow in the corners. Okay. So on the waving flag, I felt like the arch, I don't know. I just didn't know if it was kind of right, the way the arch looked. And so I just put it as a regular arch instead of like trying to like have, when I tried to make the arch in the same shape as the wave, it just looks like a straight line. So at least the way I did it, because I hated geometry when I took it in school and thought I'd never need to know it. So Nancy is here. Hello, Nancy. She says, hey, chick. Hey, Nancy. And I'm going to, by the way, I have this set up for the live comments to show on the replay, but YouTube doesn't seem to do that. So if I see comments during the live, I will read it aloud so that whoever is watching the replay can know what people said. Anyway, so this is the waving Juneteenth flag. And I'm just not sure, given like it's not really a full wave. Like I didn't stay true to the wave of the flag, like the flag waves, but the design is the same as if it's straight on. So I wasn't sure how I felt about that. So I figured instead of me deciding, I'll leave it up to my customers, what they want. So perfect. That's the waving one. But as you see, the arch is still the arch. The flags, like everything else about it is still the same. So I will get that listed ASAP because I know Juneteenth is coming up real quick. Okay, the rest of the molds that I have are one theme. And they are basically a dog theme. And I chose this because I started making cookies, sugar cookies, like just for fun, whatever, because I got so much extra time. And I took these like online classes and I made some dog cookies. And I was like, and I made the cookie cutters for them. And then I was like, you know, I think these would be super cute bath bomb designs. So I decided to make the cookies that I made into bath bomb designs. So that is what I'm doing. So the first one is just the dog. And I think I'm going to call this, if it works out, panting dog face, because I have several dog designs. Like I don't know what breed this would be. I have several breeds available on my website for molds, but like I have a dachshund. That was my first one that I made. I have a poodle, which I want to redesign. I don't love the poodle design. I have a Frenchie. I have a Grand Pyrenees. I feel like there's one more. Anyway, so this, I don't feel like this is like a specific breed. Maybe I'm wrong. Aw, look at how cute he is. This is the little guy. Super stinking cute. Okay, and looks just like my cookie. I just almost like knocked him over. Okay, next is the same dog, but as a midi. So a little bit smaller. My goal for regular size molds is to make them around the 150 gram mark. Could be 140, could be 160, could be 135, you know, but ballpark. Goal for a midi is to make it around the 80 to 100 gram mark. So about 20% smaller than the regular size. And then I have a mini of this one as well. Oops. Okay. Here's a challenge that I just gave myself, is that I put all this dust in. This is why I don't like the dust. But I might have a challenge with cracking bath bombs here because I've basically covered up all the wet mix with embed mixture in here. So this bath bomb might crack, and this is why, because I basically like the center can't really hold together. It might be okay because the edges can, because I left the edges clear, but that's part of why I don't like using embed dust. So just saying. Okay, yesterday I had my first ever mammogram. And I have to say, I mean, I got sizable breasts. And so I wasn't that worried, except I was a little bit worried, but I think that it's probably worse for less endowed women. So, but I was happy to get it done, except that it's a sign of my age. Okay, super cutie midi doggy, panting dog. Works, love it. And now let's try the mini dog. Okay. I always have like a thought of like, oh, when I go live, I'll chat. You know what? Let's just do yellow in this one. Let's do a teensy bit of orange too. There we go. And then once I go live, I always forget what I was going to talk about. I have been downloading my lives, my old lives from Facebook, so that I can put them here on YouTube, because I've been asked by a few people to do that, because Facebook is basically deleting old live videos. It used to be you could keep them there forever, and that's not the case anymore. Now you get a max of 30 days. So I've downloaded all the old videos, but I don't know if I should have gone this method, but I basically went old videos to new videos, and I had a lot. Like I had a couple years worth of lives. Oh my gosh. Let me just see. Oh, he's so cute. Can you see him? So I'm going to show you the difference here. Let me put this mini on this guy. Hold on. So this, trying to keep from dropping it all, because that's what's going to happen. So we got regular, midi, and mini. So that's kind of them all together. What was I just talking about? Oh, the lives. So instead of starting with the most recent lives, I downloaded the old lives. So I got, I think 2022, 2023, and 2024 downloaded. But it was a lot. So I was doing it like, let's do this next. The doghouse. So I wasn't doing it all in one go. And by the time I got to 2025, they already had deleted all the stuff I did after, I think, February. So I don't have my most recent lives, but I definitely have quite a few, and I'll get those released. I'm going to try and do at least one a week. We'll see if I do that. But what I'm doing with them is I'm watching it before I release it so that I can put timestamps on it, so that if there's a particular thing you want to see, you can see it. Oh, we got another comment. Nancy says, so I take it everything turned out okay with your mammo. We shall see. So the actual appointment went fine. I don't know how this works with others. So I live in Canada. So I moved here 10 years ago. And so I think that, like, I don't know if in the US, like when you get a mammogram in the US, you get your results right away. Because I know there are times in the US where you can get like results right away for certain tests that in Canada you'd wait on a little bit. But I didn't get results. So what I was told, though, it's funny, like the woman before she got started manhandling me, which thank God for my experience on a swim team, because I was just like, whatever, go ahead. Not that like on a swim team we're all like manhandling each other, but I feel like I've become less like, I became, with the swim team experience of just like naked women all over the place, I became less self-conscious of my boobs around other women. Okay, I love this doghouse. It is so stinking cute. Oh my gosh. I also have a midi of that. I don't have a mini yet, but now that I see how cute that is, I'm totally going to make a mini of that. This is the double midi, so you can make 2 midis at a time if you're getting the hybrid. But I've got lots more to test, so I'm not going to do both of them. I'm just going to do one. So anyway, so before she gets started, she's like telling me like what's going to happen. And she goes, just so you know, statistically, the first mammogram is like the most likely to require like basically a callback, like you to come back because there's something that we can't read or we need to do another scan. And she's like, it's really just because we don't have a history to know like what, kind of like what's your baseline, what's normal. So she's like, don't freak out if we contact you, in the next few days to tell you have to come back. I don't know if she said next few days, but anyway, so she's like, I hope that hasn't freaked you out. I was like, no, thank you for letting me know. So let's see. Nancy says, we will get an okay for the pics. If nothing abnormal, you get to leave and they will mail you your results. Okay, so she didn't tell me, like, what I wonder, so she basically said the pictures seem to take okay, so the other part was when I got the appointment scheduled, they had like this, like, I don't know, it was like a letter or something that I got too, an email. And it was like, here's some things, right? Like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And so it said, don't wear deodorant. And then usually if I get, let's just look at the midi next to the regular. How cute are those? Those are my favorite right now. So usually when I have like an appointment where there are very like specific instructions or something like that, in my calendar, when I save the appointment, I will, in the like kind of notes section of the appointment, I will copy the direction, the special whatever in there. So like, anyway. So in my calendar, it just said I had to get there 15 minutes early. So like, that's part of what it said I had to do. So I didn't put in there that I had to not wear deodorant. So then when I was getting ready yesterday morning, I was like, did it say not to wear deodorant? And I was like, I don't know if that's true. Maybe I'm just making that up. And it was finally a hot day yesterday, like the first hot day in forever. And so I was like, I am wearing deodorant. And so when I got there, when I, registered or whatever, the front desk, I said, oh, like I wore deodorant. I don't know if I was supposed to. And they were like, oh, just tell the nurse or the tech when you get there and she'll have like wipes for you. I was like, okay. So then when the tech brings me back, I said to her, I said, oh, I wore deodorant. She's like, that's okay. Put the gown thingy on. And she didn't have wipes right there. She's like, just come meet me in the room and I'll have wipes there. And then she did the scans, but didn't wipe. And I just forgot to mention to bring it up again. And when the scans were done, she goes, oh, it scanned fine. Like, it turns out like your deodorant didn't cause any issues. So kind of like she's basically saying the scans happened, but not, I don't think she's allowed to like tell you the results. And the reason I say that is I remember when I went to, okay, I have a bone and poop as well, but I'm going to go with the dog food bowl next because I'm going to run out of mix. So I'm not going to be able to do the dog and the poop because the poop is a little different than the poop emoji that I currently have. So I remember a long time ago when I first moved here, basically, I'm just sharing all my medical information here. I had to get something removed. I had an IUD that I had to get removed, and they basically like couldn't find it. So I had to get an ultrasound to figure out where the thing was. And I remember when I went, the person who was like the ultrasound tech was like, she basically was from, I can't remember what country, but she was an immigrant to Canada. And basically it came out that she was like a doctor or a surgeon in her home country, but of course immigrated to Canada, and it doesn't translate. And so now she's an ultrasound tech or whatever. And I remember her saying something about how she wasn't allowed to tell me the results. Like she wasn't, it's like her job is to do the scan. And then the scan goes to somebody whose job is to read the scan and check for things. So I have a feeling that this is the same, where the mammogram person you see, their job is to just get the scans, and they are not legally allowed to like read it and give you results, if that makes sense. So we shall see. I did want to, like, as I left, I kind of got a glimpse of the image, and I was like, oh, I wish, like, I was kind of like, ooh, should I look? Should I not look? And then I left, and I was like, why didn't I just look? Like, I don't know. I felt like that's not my information to see, but I'm like, it is. It's my boob. So anyway, I was curious about it. I was like, it looks like in the textbooks. Yes! Look at this dog food bowl. Oh my gosh, I love it. Yes, queen. Okay. And then one more dog food bowl, but this is the midi. So anyway, I got it done. It's good to get them checked. I had a friend who, actually my friend's sister, but I'm also friends with like her, but I was like best friends with her sister. Anyway, so my friend got breast cancer. I can never remember the stage, but it was far enough along that she ended up needing to get a mastectomy. But she was in her 30s. And what I found interesting was her boyfriend at the time, her fiance at the time, is who found it. And they were saying that that's usually like the people who find the lumps are not usually the people who have the lumps, but they are the people who are intimate with the person with the lumps. And they're like, this feels different. So I thought that was kind of amusing. Anyway, she is healthy. She got the mastectomy, and she's been fine for, I want to say it's been 20 years at least. Anyway, definitely should be checking. Like that family, that really good friend's family has a history, lots of breast cancer in the family. In fact, my friend's uncle got it. And when I found that out, I was like, I did not know men could get breast cancer. But it makes sense. They have the same like breast tissue, basically. It's just it doesn't like grow and whatever, but they could still get breast cancer. And I was like, who knew? You know what else? Who knew? Who knew that dog food bath bombs could be so stinking adorable? I mean, look at that. Let me just make sure. Okay, that's just me cleaning out the mold. So this is the regular size, and this is the midi size. So cute. Okay, let's see. Nancy says, same here, but the tech gives it someone who reads it before you leave. Then I think there's a problem. The doctor will call for the next step. I see. No, they don't do that here. It's interesting because you do go to the hospital for it. I don't know if there's like separate imaging things. Here's a question. Okay, I wanted to do micro mini hearts as well. And so that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my mix, because these, I'll show you. These are the poopies. So a little bit different than my poop emojis. And then I know I have mini and micro mini bones, but I don't think I have full size bones. And I was thinking for the bones, to make the bones and then put something on, if I can, that says Dog Days of Summer. I think that would be cool. Okay, but I'm going to make micro mini hearts with the rest of my mix, because I'm making, will the hearts be too big? No, I'm going to make something else, micro mini something else. Because those hearts are a little bit bigger than I would like for the bath bomb wands. And I thought I had donuts here because I've been doing a lot of donuts lately. And maybe I put the donuts in here. No, but I do have. You know what? The donuts were probably right in front of my face because I'm so tired that I'm not seeing anything anymore. So let's move a couple of things. What is that? That's the maple leaf that I don't think I ever listed. Oh my gosh, I am just a mess. I am a mess. Okay, I guess I'm doing hearts. I'm doing hearts. Okay. I wish bath bombs were more popular here. Those are so cute. Aw. Yeah, I mean, bath bombs are for sure a, where did I just put the hearts? Oh my gosh. I mean, I think that different things have different places where they're more popular, right? I do feel like bath bombs are more popular in the winter, which makes sense because for my adult customers, they're like, I don't want to take a hot bath in the summer. But yeah, every area has their thing that's more or less whatever. Do shower bombs do well where you are? Because all these could work with shower bombs too. Or is it just kind of soap that goes well where you are? Okay. These might be a little wider than what I would like. This is partly why this is my old micro mini heart mold. The new one has, I think, to make 10 instead of 12 at a time because this was just way too big. Okay. Sometimes my micro minis, it's helpful to tap them first and sometimes not. So I'm trying tapping this. The other thing is when I flip this onto my tray, if I don't do this, like if I just flip it, I could knock all my other bath bombs around. So I don't want to risk that. So what I usually do is I'll kind of put my hand on the tray to try and help reduce the vibration that the tray will get as I flip it. And then I'm going to just lift it. I might tap the mold a bit to help. And that was lifted like barely anything, oops, off of the tray. And maybe I shouldn't have because it definitely hit a couple of these and deformed a few of these. So let's just move those aside. And I'm going to redo a couple of these because they're a little too deformed for my liking. Okay, so let's redo those. Shower bombs are on my list, working on freshies now. Oh yeah, I like me the freshies. I have a few new freshie designs that I've done as well, but it's like when you're the only one, as I'm sure you have the same issue on your end, when you're the only one making, I just find sometimes I am like doing too much and then I get nothing done. Like I need to like be like, okay, right now I'm going to work on molds, like bath bomb molds. And then I'm going to work on freshie molds. And then I'm going to work on blah, blah, blah molds. Wands, bath bomb wands, something like that. Speaking of what I'm working on, my biggest thing I'm working on right now are my subscription box designs. So those are my subscription box for the fall is going out in the beginning of July, first half of July. And it is available for purchase until June 15th, which I think is next week. So that's what I've been working on, is getting those ones going. I'm going to try doing this without tapping first. Okay, I don't know if you saw, but these ones jumped a little. So there's definitely a jumping that happens. I'm going to first just lift this up. And a couple came out, but that's because so let's do a little bit of, see if that does it. Whoa, 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 Nelly. There. See, some of them, if I do that, they mess up as they fall, which is why I'm going to tap before flipping on this next one. Okay. And then I kind of want to make more dog houses because those are so stinking cute. Oh. Nancy says, OMG, that is my life. I hear you, girl. I hear you. I feel for you. I feel for you. I think I love... Oh, well, I don't love you. I'm sorry. No offense. No offense. Okay. There's these. The thing with Freshies is I do feel like they're much stronger in the, warmer months. So, like, I have Freshies in my car that I thought died, and then the weather got warmer, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, they smell again. So I think that that's why they've probably been more kind of like popular or prevalent in the southern US than up north. But I have fun with them. So I'm loving them. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Okay. Oh, now I'm going to get probably copyright infringement or something. YouTube is going to be like, why were you playing McDonald's stuff? I wasn't. I swear I wasn't. Okay. There's like a little bit of shoop that messed up there and here. I just want to make sure it's flat to give it the least chance of messing up as it dries. And so now let's try this way where I'm going to tap all around and then I'm going to flip, but I'm not going to like slam it flip because I don't want to get all the other hearts to like jump around, jump up and get down. Okay, so let's just lift this once. Most of them came out. One left. There we go. Okay. And I might have enough for one more quickie little batch of this, but I don't think it's going to be enough for the full thing. So if you have an unmolding plate, I learned this from Robin, you can kind of cover up some of the little cavities, and it just gives you like a little bit more of a like less. You can, this is good for like the end of your mix because then you're not like constantly trying to get stuff from the rest of the, like I'm not trying to take stuff out of here to get into this. You know what I mean? So I could maybe do one more, but I'm just going to leave it at this. And let's see if I lift it. I heard one come out. Two. There we go. Okay. I'm going to leave the rest of this mix. I can, what I do is I have this like little pouch that I will put all my dead mix in, and then it becomes like a fun little bath bomb little treat. Not bath bomb, but bath dust. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. Let's see if there's anything else that came. I don't think. None taken. There's always room for the partridge family. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining or watching the replay. And if you don't already subscribe to my channel, please do. It helps somehow. I don't know how. And these molds will be available within the next week on sophistication.com. Happy making!